I'd like to welcome you here this morning. My name is CLAIR BALDWIN. I'm the Assistant Chief of Administration for Salt Lake City Fire Department. This has been a long time coming. It's a wonderful day. We're extremely excited to open this fire station. On behalf of Fire Chief Carl Lieb, I welcome each and every one of you here this morning. All the distinguished members of the council, Mayor Biskupski, we can't even begin to express our gratitude for having such a wonderful building. At this time, we're going to present the colors and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Would the audience please arise?
Will the audience please join the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready, two. Host the colors. Detail. Ready, face. Over, march.
I'd like to thank, the audience, can please be seated. I'm going to make you stand the whole time. I'd like to thank the Salt Lake City Fire Department Honor Guard for doing the presentation of the colors. They always do such a fine job, and we appreciate them. They go to so many functions on behalf of the fire department and spend a lot of time in serving not only the fire department but the citizens of the Salt Lake City. This is an important day for the Salt Lake City Fire Department and those that we have the honor of serving. In my 33-year career, all but 3 of the stations have been rebuilt. That means I'm old. But to think about that in 33 years we've rebuilt all the stations other than 3. The commitment that has been shown by the city administration to make sure that we have the best of everything, and we do. And we're grateful for that. We're grateful for all of the relationships that we have with the rest of the city in making so many things happen, fleet, facilities. It's unbelievable the things that they do on our behalf, and we appreciate it a lot. I just want to express that right now. I mentioned service, and in the fire service, that word is what we do. None of us hold ourselves any above or higher than the rest of the people that we serve in this city. It's an honor to be a firefighter. It's an honor to have that privilege to serve those that need our help at times when no one else is there and they have no one else to call. Recently, I saw something on Facebook that it was about a homeless person that had water thrown on them in a restaurant. And I think about all the times when those experiencing homelessness have needed our help, and the opportunity that we have to make a difference in those people's lives as well as the rest of those that we may come in contact. It's a very important thing for us. Important that we remember that we need to treat everyone with that dignity and respect that they deserve. And I know that the members of Salt Lake City Fire Department strive to do that every single day. And I just want everyone else here to know how much we embrace that idea that we're here to serve you. Fun fact, back in 1985 when I was hired, there were 106 firefighters per platoon. Today, there are about 80. In 1985, we had 15 stations. Today, we have 14. And my point here is that we, the fire department, are charged with being as efficient as possible. And we've found that over the period of years, take this into consideration. In 1985, we ran about 14,500 runs, and now we're running 35,000 runs per year. So efficiency is something that we're charged with, and we feel like we're trying to become a better deliverer of our service with every year when we evaluate how we do things and what the best way is in the future. I'm sure that things will change in the future as well. I'd like to thank Mayor Jackie Biskupski and the City Council once again for always supporting the fire department. We feel that. We feel that our backs are, that you do have our backs, and and we're grateful for that. It's something that I can't say that we've always felt over the years, that 33 years. There's been times when it hasn't been the way it is today, and we really do appreciate that. We don't take it for granted at all. Our fire stations and equipment really are second to none in both quality and functionality. And it's just, you look at this facility as you have a chance to walk around after we finish the ceremony. It is absolutely stunning. And not just the way it looks, but in its functionality and in its the green issue of it's just amazing. So I can't really describe in words. You can see exactly. Just look around, and it's just absolutely amazing. I would like to recognize a few key individuals that played a role in the design and building of this wonderful facility. I do need to read this because there's quite a list. First of all, BALDWIN Corporation, the general contractor that built this facility, and representing them today are Phil Clausen, the project manager, and Cody Montgomery, Jr., the superintendent. Blaylock and Partners and team, the architects that designed this beautiful building. Kevin Blaylock is principal, Brian Backey, project architect, Brian Harris is our architectural and planning and also the fire station expert. So the person that knows what we need in building a fire station. Robert Zubak, he MOCA project manager, so we had a manager that was here constantly making sure that in cooperation with Wadman and Blaylock that everything was done correctly. Civil engineer was Anderson, Whalen and Associates. Electrical engineer, Spectrum Engineers. Mechanical engineer, Van Borum and Frank Associates. Structural engineer, BHB Engineers. Landscape architects, G. Brown Design Incorporated. Salt Lake City Corporation Facilities Division, Jim Cleland, Division Director. Cameron Scott, Facilities Commissioning Authority. He's the one that makes all of the AC and all of this complicated system work with the geothermal. And without Cameron, we would be lost. Riley Bird, Maintenance and Program Manager. Housing and Neighborhood Development Division, Todd Reeder. He helped us secure the funds needed to build this building. Department of Sustainability, Tyler Polson, Sustainability Program Manager. Information Management Services, Raul Chacon, Network Systems Engineer. Engineering Division continued, Don Wagner, Deputy City Engineer, and Sean Fife, City Architect. Orion Goff, Director of Building Services. David Gelner, Principal Planner, Department of Community and Neighborhoods. Salt Lake City Fire Department, Chief Carl Lieb, Deputy Chief Rusty McMicken, Assistant Chief, myself, CLAIR BALDWIN, Captain Kevin Kochever, Division Chief Chris Milne, Captain Brandon Turman, Brittany Blair, Accountant and Designer, Glenn Hollander, Senior Communications Technician, and Firefighter Paul Carey, the Inspector. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank every single member of Salt Lake City Fire Department. The men and women of this department are tremendous. And when I was asked to do the MC, partly is because in a few months I am retiring, but I just want them to know what an honor it is to serve them. At this time, we're going to hear from Mayor Jackie Biskupski, and she has some words for us, and then I'll come back and announce the rest of the program.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fire Station number 3. This is an exciting day for everyone, especially those who have been working so closely with this project. Thank you to all of you. This is what collaboration looks like at City Hall and with our departments, and I'm very proud of the teamwork that went on here. This is now the second time this year we have gathered to open a new fire station in Salt Lake City, and once again we are making history by opening one of the first net zero stations in the country. It should come as no surprise that Salt Lake City is leading in this effort. Seattle is shortly behind us with number 3, but we beat them with number 1 and 2. Not only are we completely committed to transforming the carbon output of this great city, we are focused on collaboration to reach the goal. To open a building of this significance requires the work and vision of many departments. The fire department, of course, sustainability, public services, engineering, the city council, and my office. Thank you to all of you for all you have done. There is a saying that where there is smoke, there is fire, and whether it's in Salt Lake City, in the wildlands of Utah, or in California, the brave members of the Salt Lake City Fire Department have been chasing the smoke and putting out the fire all year long, keeping all of us safe. But just as smoke is a sign of fire, the smog which envelops our city also points to a bigger problem, one our fire department is prepared to help tackle as well. Fire Station number 3, like its sister station 14, are part of a solution to the air quality problem and climate change issues we face. Issues we have already seen increase the workload of our fire department, as they are called upon to battle worsening wildfires every year. And though this is a truly historic building in our city, we must never forget that it is first and foremost a home away from home for our fire personnel. Here, they will cook together, work out together, and rest, while always being prepared to answer the call of those in need. As you will all see on your tour today, this space has certainly been designed to be a home for them. So I want to especially thank our designer and our hardworking space engineers for creating a place of comfort for our firefighters. Sugar House continues to be one of the most vibrant neighborhoods in our city, and now it has a fire station to match it. I will add that you will not notice a frequency of golf tournaments going on due to location. Am I right? All right. Anyway, congratulations to all of you, to the Salt Lake City team. Job well done, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Biskupski. Next, we're going to hear from Councilmember Amy Fowler. And once again, at that point, when she's finished, then we will hear from Vicky Bennett, the Director of Sustainability.
Good morning, everyone. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here right now. Well, I guess if anyone knows me, you would already know how excited I am to be here. My two favorite things in one place, firefighters and golf. So I feel really good at this. In fact, the mayor just said that this was a home away from home, and it's true. And as you look around, you'll really see the little details that make this a home away from home for our firefighters. Little did they or Chief Lieb know that it would also become my home away from home. As I joke that they'll probably just find me watching a movie or in the sauna cycle or working out. I think it's perhaps, Chief, can I just get a key? Thank you, thank you. But in all seriousness, this is a beautiful setting for our new Station 3. In fact, as I mentioned, it's right adjacent to the Forestdale Golf Course, which was opened in 1905 as the Salt Lake Country Club and is the oldest existing golf course in Utah. Certainly it has gone through its own changes, as Sugar House has gone through its changes. And building this new fire station has also seen and added to those changes. At times, I think, with a little bit of concern from our residents, but as I like to point out, if we didn't have change, we'd still have a prison in Sugar House Park. So I welcome the change as we welcome this new fire station here. Speaking of the prison, you'll notice that each fire station in Salt Lake City has its own emblem. So here, Station 3 is a shamrock. And the reason I kind of I asked Chief Lieb and I looked into the reason for Station 3 being a shamrock. And one of the reasons, the reason I'm aware of, is that we have a large Irish immigrant community here in Sugar House. And many of those Irish immigrants worked not only in the prison, but at the sugar beet fields that were here. So the shamrock represents that industrious, hard-working community that we are so well known for here in Sugar House. It also represents there's several different meanings for the shamrock, but one that I found and I like the most is that each leaf represents faith, hope, and love. And if anyone knows a firefighter, you know that those are three of the things that they carry with them at all times is faith, hope, and love, and they bring that into our communities. So as you look around at this fire station, be sure to notice those intricate details that represent the faith, the hope, and the love, and the hard-working commitment to our community that this station really represents and shows. The other thing that this station is so unique for, and that I'm so grateful for, is that it brings in our uniqueness here in Sugar House. As you walk up the stairs, you'll see that there is a beautiful sign made by a local artist that says Sugar House on it, and each of the letters is a letter from a vintage sign that was found here in Sugar House. It's next to the fire pole, which you may or may not see me go down later. I'm not making any promises, but I did suggest to some community members that I would do that, so stick around, perhaps. In the end, I want to say thank you to all of the people that have worked diligently to make this happen. One of the things I forgot to mention when I said I would make myself at home was that maybe these firefighters will just find me here cooking dinner or maybe I shouldn't because Captain Kaufman, if anyone's had Captain Kaufman's cooking, it is one of the best, some of the best cooking I've ever had. And I would encourage each of you to stop by, bring families by, and enjoy this beautiful space. We have a new community space for our Sugar House residents, and the welcoming that our firefighters in this station brings is above everything else. I am so grateful to be here today. I'm grateful for each of you and all of the people that have made this a reality. I want to say congratulations to Chief Lieb and all of the firefighters, and thank you.
Good morning. I'm Vicky Bennett, and I'm the Director of the Department of Sustainability, and I am so honored and excited to be here and be able to celebrate the opening of this station. As you all know, Salt Lake City is committed to powering our government operations and ultimately the entire community with clean, renewable energy. And the city and department really takes pride in leading by example, because we feel like we can't ask others to do this unless we can show that it can be done. And look around at this station. It really can be done. So this station, Salt Lake Fire Station number 3, is a net zero LEED Gold facility. And that has a lot of really important meanings, right? So we've invested in many ways already in Salt Lake City, putting solar power on a dozen of our governmental buildings, and we're always been looking for energy efficiency and ways to have a cleaner fleet. This building, though, really represents a modern approach to responsibly built government facilities, and we're going to minimize energy waste and reduce our ongoing utility costs, cutting the costs to taxpayers all the way into the future. If you think of a net zero building, and our architect brought us these balloons to really help us see this. If you look at the gray balloons, that's how much carbon, each one of those is the equivalent to 5 metric tons of carbon, which, I mean, I can't imagine that. It's one of those numbers that you really can't imagine what does 5 metric tons of carbon look like. But imagine one of those gray balloons is 5 metric tons of carbon. If we just built a run-of-the-mill fire station, that's how much carbon emissions the fire station would have put out in a year. Take a look at the green balloons. That's how much carbon this station will put out in a year before the solar panels that offset it. Now, we also put solar panels on to ensure that we're offsetting the emissions. So we could take all those green balloons and really pop them, because this is a zero emissions net. And that's the goal that we have in our city for all of our buildings. We have 306 solar panels on the roof, 110 kilowatts of energy. And this really does help us towards what we're calling our Climate Positive 2040 community plan that's been adopted by our mayor and our city council. The overall goal is to reduce our carbon pollution by 80% by 2040. And as many of you are probably aware, the latest report on climate change said that 2040 is going to be our, the furthest goal we can have. We really need to start turning around the amount of carbon emissions we have now. And this station is going to help us get there. So it is really smart construction and it's fiscal responsibility. I have to really thank Chief Lieb, the rest of the fire department, for the cooperation, the collaboration. We have loved working with them, and there's never been a group where we come up with some ideas and bring it to them and they're immediately right there saying, how can we help? How can we do it? It's not just the green design of these fire stations. They're finding ways to reduce fuel use, even when they do, realize that there are a lot of large engines that have to drive around and will. Their willingness to work with us on electric vehicles. And just simple things, having their own reusable bags printed so they can take those to the grocery store when they shop to make those really good meals that we've all heard about. So Thank you very much to the entire fire service. They've been a wonderful partner. I really encourage everyone to look at the city's climate positive plan and understand how important it is for the partnerships like this as we move forward. Thank you.
Quite often there's confusion when the chief and I are in public because I'm much more distinguished looking and older, and quite often they think I'm the chief, but I'm not. I'm just the eye candy. So next we're going to hear from my boss, at least for a while, Chief Lieb, who I think the world of. Chief Carl Lieb is a great leader. He's leading this department where it needs to go, and I love this man dearly. Here's Chief Lieb.
Thank you, Chief Baldwin. I don't think anyone's ever made that mistake, but I'm glad you made the comment anyway. A lot of thank yous today, and we've already heard most of them, but I think some are just worth repeating. Mayor Biskupski, I want to thank you for your support for this project. Council Member Fowler, you as well. See Council Member Luke in the back. We appreciate the General Council's support. Chief of Staff Leary is in the back. Patrick, thank you for being there for us. This is indeed a remarkable project. Blaylock and Associates, Kevin, thanks for designing such an innovative and unique building and practical for our use. Wadman Construction, thanks for building it just the way we designed it. It's easier said than done, so thank you for that. I want to thank Chief Baldwin for being my primary administrative representative for this project. Claire, you've been on top of this from the get-go. It's a lot of work involved, a lot of details, a lot of little dangles, as I call them, that need to be wrapped up. And you've done a great job. Well done. I also want to thank the firefighters. We have firefighters from several departments here, but primarily Salt Lake City firefighters, and of course, specifically from Station 3. Thank you for your patience while we construct these stations. And thank you for your help, particularly in the last 3 weeks. As we get closer to a project, you find firefighters that are more willing to help with the project. You know, when can we get in? Can we get in tomorrow, Chief? No, we can't get in tomorrow. How about next week? No, not get in next week, but it's gonna happen. But thank you to the firefighters, I appreciate that. And lastly, I wanna thank Sugar House. There's some residents here, there's small business owners, many of whom I met just this morning. Thanks for coming out today on this kind of a dreary October morning. We appreciate it. We're happy to be part of your community, and we're looking forward to continuing to support you through this station. I think the weather kind of dampened our celebration a little bit today, but I will tell you, if you're a firefighter in 2018 and you went through the kind of challenging summer that we did in the Salt Lake Valley, this is welcome weather. This is good weather. I stand before you this morning very proud and very appreciative, Chief. 5 months ago, as Mayor Biskupski said, we opened a fire station on the west side of Salt Lake City, and it was the first LEED Gold net zero station in the country. And today I stand before you, and we are going to open the second. Let's think about that for just a moment. These structures represent some of the most efficient design components ever integrated into a building like this. And it speaks volumes about Salt Lake City's commitment to environmentally conscious and sustainable elements. So I'm proud to be a part of that. And I'm proud that our department wants to be part of that challenge and part of that resolution. I've learned a lot about technology this year, I will tell you that, particularly about net zero LEED Gold buildings. And let me tell you, it can get pretty complicated. Kevin Blaylock and Vicky Bennett can appreciate this, but this is what I've learned, for instance. This building is 18,000 square feet of urban infill, comprised of geothermal closed-loop transfer, photovoltaic panels, bioswale stormwater filtration, naturescaping that promotes evapotranspiration, and my favorite, light-emitting diodes. Those are all in this building. I'm not sure what they all mean, but I know the individual function of these renewable components pale in comparison to their collective value to our environment, Salt Lake City, and Sugar House. This is a 50-year building. It's built to last at least 50 years. That's remarkable. It's been built not only for those of us here today, but for our children. And it considers the environment and the world that our children are going to live in for these next decades. It will become home for professional firefighters, of course, when people need them the most. But it's also going to be here and to provide Sugar House service when it's not an emergency response. I've spent some time thinking about what differentiates this station, number 3, to our previously opened station on the west side, Station 14. And although there are many similarities, the primary difference is the neighborhood. This station has a community building, a community area, a capacity of 50 individuals that should be part of the Sugar House fabric. Okay, it should welcome people in here to talk about scout camps and team sports, and community leaders can come here and have meetings. We want to welcome Sugar House into this station. They can come ask for directions. As we know, fire stations are a safe place. People come here for a variety of reasons. We want to continue that. We want to open the doors and we want to welcome the neighborhood in. And that's what goes into this design here at Station 3. Sugar House has always embraced its fire department. Business owners here roll out the red carpet, inviting us to their events, making us part of this tight-knit community. And it's a place where I want communities to know that we care about being part of their neighborhood. It matters to us because this is our home. So it's an important aspect for the fire department. In the same vein, the station has great meaning to the firefighters. The crews who make Station 3 their fire department home have generated some envy within the department, although the rest of the firefighters would never admit it. But look at this place. I mean, this has accommodations that are second to none in Salt Lake City. Maybe rival Station 14 on the west side, but they're certainly very nice. It's a very rewarding place to work, and that's because of the vibrant community atmosphere that Mayor Biskupski mentioned earlier. It also doesn't hurt that some of the dorms here at the station overlook the 9th hole of Forestdale Golf Course. So that's a nice perk. I want to mention some of the ways that Salt Lake City Fire Department, and specifically Station 3, have pride in these 4 walls as well. As Councilmember Fowler mentioned, you see these logos. They're specific to the fire stations across Salt Lake City. You see the clover here, right on the engine, up over your right, on your right side above the door, you see that logo there. You're going to see it several more times here in the station. It's on the kitchen table, as a matter of fact. And that kitchen table is designed by firefighters for this station. And the logo itself is designed by a firefighter. We take great pride in being part, of the fabric of the community, and we're going to continue that. And it's really a commitment to the neighborhood and what we're trying to accomplish throughout Salt Lake City. Needless to say, we're excited about this building. The previous station, located just northeast of here on Simpson Avenue, was our oldest remaining firehouse. At 43 years old, it could no longer provide the space, the technology, or the living accommodations to support professional emergency service. In 1974, when Station 3 was built, our department was running just over 5,000 calls a year, about 22% of them medical calls. Today, the Salt Lake City Fire Department responds to over 30,000 calls a year, and approximately 83% of them are now medical calls. This fire station certainly does its share, and it's not going to decrease. Sugar House is one of the fastest growing areas of Salt Lake City, and it's anticipated to increase its population by 25% over the next 2 years. With growth comes development. With development creates density, and the density increases an opportunity for accidents, and what we in the fire service call bad days. This station anticipates that growth. At any given time of day, you will find 4 firefighters here. In years to come, you may find more. As Sugar House grows, your fire department will be prepared to grow with it. Today, new Fire Station 3 is ready to go into service. For weeks, residents from all around the neighborhood have been asking us, when can we come over and have a tour? Well, you can visit now and you can have that tour. And we're looking forward to it. Let's cut the hose.